In a far reach of a spiral arm, there existed a council of many kinds who believed that the idea of humanity was a myth, a rumor told by traitors, who had lost their ships and their hope, and in this council the elders met beneath a wide dome of crystal, to debate the fate of 1,000 worlds as storms of dark energy crept through space and swallowed suns one by one, and each elder feared that their own people would soon face the same end. Among them was a small being named Olin, who came from a race of thinkers, and Olin was tasked with finding any force that could stand against the storms. Yet every record showed that none could, and so Olin proposed a wild idea that the council seek the humans, who were said to be strong, not in size or in power, but in will and heart. Yet the elders laughed and said that such a people had been excluded from the galactic story long ago. Dad's too strange and too risky to trust. Still, Olin would not give up, and with a single small ship, Olin left the council world and followed faint signals that pointed toward a distant region where humans once lived. In their Elon found ruins of tall cities and silent machines, yet no living soul. And for a moment Elon felt that the elders were right, and that hope was lost. But in the shadow of a fallen tower, Olin found a hidden vault, and inside were records not of weapons, but of stories, songs, and simple acts of kindness and courage. And these records spoke of humans who faced endless danger yet still chose to protect one another, and even strangers, and Olin realized that this was the true strength of humanity. Olin studied these records. The storms drew closer, and one wave of dark energy struck the planet, tearing the sky with light, and Olin barely escaped with the data and flew back toward the council, while many worlds burned behind. When Olin returned, the elders were in panic, as reports showed that the storms would soon reach their own system, and no fleet could stop them. And Olin stood before the council and shared the human records, showing how these beings did not rely on grand weapons alone, but on unity and resolve, and on the belief that even in the worst night a single spark could light the way. The elders argued that such ideas were too soft to fight a force that could crush stars, yet Olin pointed out that every great power began with a simple choice to resist. And so, with little else to try, the council agreed to follow the human way. They sent messages to every world calling for all peoples to stand together, not as rivals but as one, and to share resources and knowledge freely. And many doubted, but as the storms grew closer, fear turned into cooperation, and soon fleets from dozens of races gathered in a single vast armadillo. Then used the human records to inspire these beings, telling tales of humans who faced odds far worse and still endured. And slowly the crews of the armada began to feel a shared purpose that had never existed before. When the storms arrived, they met not scattered fleets, but a united force that used clever tactics and shared energy shields and combined technology. And while the storms were still powerful, they were slowed and weakened by this unexpected resistance. Battle lasted for many cycles, and many ships were lost. Yet the armada did not break, and at last the storms were pushed back and faded into the void, leaving behind a galaxy that had learned a new way to stand. After the victory, the elders admitted that excluding humans had been a grave mistake, for even without their physical presence, their spirit had changed everything. And Olin became known not as a small thinker, but as a hero who had brought a forgotten truth back into the lighting. The years that followed, the council kept the human records safe and taught every new generation that strength was not only in force but in the courage to care for others. And so the galaxy entered a new age, guided by a legacy of a people who were once cast aside, yet never truly gone.